So I'm out doing my morning walk around Puerto Vallarta today, and after a couple days of a lot of things having to be processed in my head, I've come to the conclusion that I would not be a good blogger because instead of, I think it's because I like to absorb the experiences I'm going through rather than uh, report on them or I guess react to them. So this morning I thought I would try to kind of sort through some of the things that have gone through my head as I'm out doing this beautiful walk. So Puerto Vallarta for me has always been this place that's a bit of a dichotomy between paradise and a bit of a cesspool, to be honest. But somehow the two mix together for me and form a place that provides me with peace, serenity, and I just can't stop coming back here. And I think for me, that's always been why I want to share that with other people, is that it's just an environment that's so different than anywhere else I've ever been. And I've been a lot of places now, even in Mexico, and there's nothing quite like Puerto Vallarta. And fortunately, Sean has come down here with me and seen and kind of appreciates the same things that I do. But if I'm honest with myself, it's never always been just a utopia. It's always been a mixed bag of what's going on. You have the lady who sells coconut cream pies on the beach right next to the cocaine and weed dealer who works for the cartels. And Puerto Vallarta has changed a lot too throughout the years. I started coming here, oh gosh, when I was in high school. My parents brought us down here, and might even before that, but I always thought it was a cool place because it was so not like the United States. For example, I didn't mean to film it this way, but let's turn around here. I'm sure my brothers will remember this. Here's one of the swinging bridges here behind me that you can still go across today next to the market that I'm sitting next to, which now sells tourist items, but in the day I remember coming here with my brothers and actually buying shrimp, which we cooked up and ate that evening. So always changing. And this swinging bridge has always been something I thought was really cool, because it is not safe at all. There are places you could drop stuff or fall through, and there's been times I've come by and there are boards that are rotten, but it's pretty darn cool from an experience perspective. Speaking of my brother, I think that he has been here as well with me when we were kids. He has a totally different take on Puerto Vallarta about the infrastructure not being safe or responsibly maintained. He got stuck in an elevator when he was here and had to do some risky things in order to get out of that elevator. So not all of us kind of experience Puerto Vallarta in the same way. Over the years, tourism has really taken over Vallarta, and I think really that's the story of Puerto Vallarta, is that it's always been the case from the early days of it being a sleepy fishing village that became a movie set for Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton to film Night of the Iguana. Since then, it has continued to remain in the public eye as a place that people come and somewhat play and get away from whatever it is they need to get away from. So it's kind of ingrained in the spirit and the essence of what Puerto Vallarta is. Here's a picture of Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton when they were young and here and had an affair. Puerto Vallarta is not just a American fabrication, however. When you come here, you hear so many different languages from all over. It's actually a favorite vacation spot for Mexicans from Guadalajara, since it's only a few hours from Guadalajara to get here. But Canadians make up, particularly in the last several years, I think a much bigger percentage of the expat population out here than Americans seem to. But at the same time, I meet people from Australia, I meet people from, Italy, Spain, Chile, Costa Rica, all over the world come here and to just experience this. And the weird thing is, like, our beaches aren't even that great compared to a lot of places. Well, the Caribbean side is more beautiful from a beach perspective, except for the sargasso that's happening over there right now. But on the Pacific side here, the waves are kind of big, and I think it's more kind of the wildlife and stuff. You're kind of by the well, here we have the Bahia de Bandera, which is this little bay where whales seem to come from up in Alaska. They migrate down here to have their calves and migrate back every year. So you see them out in the bay, and it's pretty darn cool. Where was I going with this? I don't even know. So I guess people have a tendency to ask me, well, why do you go there? What is it you like about Puerto Vallarta? That's going to be a hard one, I think, to answer. So I'll take a couple of these different shots. I think it just feels like me. I think it's part of it. I just feel at home here. I don't know why. It's just peace that comes over me when I'm here. So we're just talking about why I like Puerto Vallarta, and this man sits down next to me on the park bench where I'm sitting. And we just start talking about Vallarta and how much has changed and things like that. It turns out he's from Los Angeles, but his family is from Vallarta. He grew up here in Vallarta. And his family has a history of being here since 1914. And he whips out his phone and shows me his family's photo album. And it's got all kinds of great photos of Vallarta, like before the church had a crown, before any of the Malecón was built. Starts telling me the history of the shrimp that you see on a skewer that they sell on the beach, and how they used to barbecue that, and it became a Vallarta thing. And I was telling him my story about the lady with pies I've always loved, and it just occurred to me, I'm like, that is why I love Vallarta. Like, it's so amazing to have these conversations with people. He was saying he's going to come back here to be closer to family and stuff like that. I was talking about how, I really love Vallarta, but I don't know if I could live here in the summer because it's so freaking hot. And he was saying, oh, you need to live in Cuernavaca. That's the place for you. He says, it's near Mexico City, about an hour away. Hernan Cortez used to have a place there because the weather is perfect. So these are the types of conversations that I think are amazing and draw me back to this place over and over again. I think there's some cleanup from the other day going on behind me. I hope it's not anything new going on. But in Mexico, generally you want to stay away from areas that have police and ambulances and things like that. The police definitely do not like to have their picture taken, and unlike the United States where we love to throw our cameras in their face, they do not like it here. Not saying which is right or better, but there's definitely a difference between the two countries. So unfortunately, this is the reality from yesterday, is that there's still burned out, obviously we'll have burned out buildings for a while, but burned out vehicles. It's kind of bad. Sorry, I'm getting run over crossing the street. But yeah, it's so sad. Now here's another one. The Kiosco is burned out. Hey, while I'm talking about this stuff, I thought I'd show this here. It makes me sad because these are lists of people that have gone missing here, presumably due to cartel actions. And I feel so sad for the locals that this happens. There's a pretty busy highway that goes by my apartment, and one of the things that was kind of eerie for me during the code red and the shutdown here in Vallarta was that there was no traffic on this road whatsoever, and it made it eerily quiet up here. Those giant trucks flying around these curves of these hills just blow my mind. Sometimes I think as tourists we forget that there are real people that live here, and they're really what make Vallarta what it is. The Mexican people in general are always super friendly, but here in Vallarta I think it's exceptionally so. And the community here has always been a great mixture of those locals and the different immigrants that have come from different places and really forged kind of an alliance. And one of the things I think I'm sad about seeing is there's a little bit of a rift going on between the different communities about, you know, who's causing the change and who's not really appreciating the severity or the realities of what's going on. And it's sad because it's always been such a great integrated community, and yeah, I'm sure it will return to that. It's such a resilient community of people, and the people are another reason I absolutely love Puerto Vallarta. And so now what probably a lot of people are wondering is, what do I feel about everything that's happened with the cartels here in Puerto Vallarta? And it's taken me, I think, a few days to really process it, to come up with a good set of feelings for everything that's going on. And I think the primary emotion I have is mad. I'm just mad. I'm mad that the cartels can do that and get away with it. And I'm mad at Donald Trump for the way he wants to claim credit for everything down here, and the way the Mexicans, you know, think that the Americans interfere with everything here, which I'm beginning to believe that maybe we do, because when you look at it, like all the guns and everything came from the United States. I'm mad at social media. I'm the way they're portraying everything and a lot of the AI fakes and stuff. I'm mad at the guy, we're not sure whether he's American or Canadian, who was looting the burned out Oxos in Vallarta, and it just makes us look stupid as expats. I'm mad that you know, that this really destroys kind of the innocence and safety that Vallarta always seemed to have had, and it no longer is going to be there. It also makes me a little bit embarrassed. I feel embarrassed because, like, I've maybe misled people about the safety down here. I don't know. It's not going to make me stop coming down here. I still love it down here. I'm not afraid of being down here. But I really can't blame anybody who hasn't been here. I think if I'd never been here and was seeing the images that are on the internet and the video clips, I wouldn't come here. So I don't know. That makes me sad that people that I would want to come here and see this and experience what I consider my little slice of paradise and one of the best places in the world to be will never come here now. So that bothers me. Yeah, so mad, embarrassed, and sad is how I feel mostly. I miss the sunset by a little bit, but it's one of the things that are make it worth coming here. I've never seen sunsets as beautiful as here in Puerto Vallarta. Oh, I also wanted to show you guys this brownie that I made here. It's basically just a standard Duncan Hines brownie mix. I mixed some bananas into it and throw it into this baking pan shaped like a daisy. So I'm not sure if that really is a good summary of everything going on here in Vallarta, but it's definitely kind of what's been going through my head, and I felt the need to kind of get it out and share it with some of the people I like. So if you're one of those and you appreciated it, you're welcome, and I'm glad I was able to do it. If I've offended you in some way, take me aside sometime and tell me why, because my love for this place means I really don't want to offend anybody, and I hope I haven't. So long from Puerto Vallarta, and you'll be seeing a lot more of me from here. I don't know, like I said, I'm not planning to become a blogger of Puerto Vallarta or anything like that, but hopefully you've also seen some of the beauty of the place. It's really amazing. Take care for now.